If you're a real estate professional or a mortgage professional, I have a question for you. Do you want to earn more money, work less, be better organized, and just all around just dominate your industry, your specific area, and your marketplace? I get it. That sounds kind of salesy. And you know what? I wanted it to sound that way because I want to grab your attention. Here's why. Real estate professionals and mortgage professionals that are using ChatGPT and AI are dominating far and above beyond those who are not using it. Now, don't get me wrong, we're still early on in this process where we're starting to see this separation. You see, GPT came out about 2 years ago, November in 2022. Here we are in January 2025, so it's just past its 2-year birthday, and so its usage is a little sporadic. It's stop and go. Some people don't know how to take it. Some others are, I'm not going to use that artificial intelligence stuff. Are you kidding, Jason? Did you see Terminator? The robots are going to take over the world. Look, they're not going to take over the world yet. They may someday, but in the meantime, ChatGPT can help you save tons of hours per week. And what do I mean by that? What is quantifiable? I've done the math. 10 hours per week for basic usage. So if you use ChatGPT, and I'm going to give you the 7 tips, the 7 strategies, the 7 game-changing ChatGPT hacks every real estate pro should be using today. What am I reading from? I'm reading from the script that ChatGPT provided for me. But look, I'm going to give you the 7 tips, but I've done the math in my own business and with the real estate professionals that I coach, and it's 10 hours per week across the board. Imagine if you were to save 10 hours per week times, well, call it 4 weeks in a month. You would save 40 hours in a month. You would essentially get an entire week back that you were otherwise spending on unnecessary tasks, or this might not be a very popular opinion, ChatGPT can actually replace some of the admin work that you are outsourcing, or dare I say, even some assistants that are costing you money. Don't get me wrong. There's no replacing the human-to-human contact in regard to helping our clients and helping us grow our business. But for certain tasks that can be automated, we can streamline our operations and ultimately save on our bottom line. So going back to my handy-dandy script that GPT provided for me, I'm going to run over the top 7 ways you can utilize ChatGPT today and start saving time, be better organized, serve your clients better, and ultimately make more money. Number 1, you can instantly create engaging listing descriptions. You might think, you know what, Jason, that's so basic. That's 101. Look, every property I've ever listed, I sit down at my computer when it gets ready to put it in the MLS, and I'm stumped. I'm stuck when it comes time to write a description that doesn't sound like every other description out there, or doesn't sound like, this is funny to say, doesn't sound like a robot wrote it, or something that, oh, worse, some agents are even copying and pasting the previous descriptions, which we certainly don't advocate at all. At the end of the day, there's a little bit of writer's block to basically be concise with your description, have a hook that's going to catch the attention of potential buyers, do the property a good service, and also maybe spell out some specifics that you weren't thinking about, some particulars about the property. So now when I list a property, what do? Is I sit down at GPT, I type in the property address. Hey, GPT. By the way, if you haven't watched my video on how to interact with GPT, go and watch that video. I'll link it. Actually, I'll link it at the end of this video. But you speak to GPT as if you were speaking to another colleague. You don't have to use the search engine boring stereotypical terms. And so essentially I'm going to say, hey, GPT, I just took a new listing at 123 Sesame Street, and I need to write a property description. Please help me be as descriptive as possible. That's it for phase 1. That's the baseline, because what will happen is GPT will go out and it'll crawl the web, and it will find the property. It'll find out where it's located. It'll find stores and shops and attractions that are close to that property. It'll know the bedrooms, the baths, the square footage, and it'll write an amazing description. Don't believe me? At the end of this video, try it. Put in your own property description for your own property address. Say, hey, GPT, I just listed the property. Insert your property address. Please write me an amazing, engaging description for potential buyers for the multiple listing service. Watch what it comes up with. Obviously, team, as always, check the work, proofread it, verify, and put your own flavor, your own flair, and your own personality into the description. But it's a great baseline to just stop and get rid of the writer's block. Item number 2 that top producing realtors are using when using AI, or how to utilize AI, is personalized client follow-ups that feel authentic. When I read that didn't sound authentic because I was literally reading off a script. But now going off script and having a conversation with you, if you were my client and I wanted to connect with you, maybe it's been a month, maybe it's been a year, and here we are in a new year, and I want to connect with you, I can simply prompt GPT to say, hey, GPT, write me an email to my past client, Jason. His son just did this, that, and the other thing. He's doing some amazing things. Last I heard, he was doing this. Please write a great reintroduction and connection email. Jastuvo, that's it. What it's going to do is it's going to take the particulars that you engineered in that description. How long it's been since you last talked to Jason, what he's been up to, maybe what his property address is. It's going to hone in on the key items that you gave it, such as what his son has been up to since you last spoke. It's going to ask inquisitive questions. Don't believe me? Try it. Again, if you haven't watched my video on how to interact with GPT, it's an absolute must watch. At the conclusion of this video, the video will be up here as one of the cards. Just click on it and try these things out. Number 3, AI-powered market reports for neighborhood updates. Team, this one is powerful. I'm going to slow down a little bit and be a little more concise with this one. GPT has the ability to read PDFs. I'll say that again. GPT has the ability to read PDFs. It also has the ability to read images. How could this be useful for market reports? We all belong to the MLS, right? Does our MLS provide reports to us in the way of bars and graphs for days on market, average sales price, so on and so forth for our particular area? Can we create customized reports? Say yes, Jason. The answer is yes, you can make customized reports. What do we do with those customized reports? We screenshot those, we upload those into GPT, and we ask GPT, I'm creating a market area report for, insert your area. Here's the reports. Please translate these to me in human-like language so that I can create a market report. In fact, GPT, outline them in terms of a market report that I can distribute via email to my customer base. You know what's going to happen? GPT is going to read those reports. It's going to summarize a nice little email for you, and then boom, you're off and running. You have a market report in, 30 seconds, a minute, however long it takes to prompt that. Number 4, lead nurturing sequences that actually convert. Here's the thing. We all know we should be following up with our clients consistently and regularly. But do we? Large majority, unfortunately, no. Why? Because we're busy. Or email drip campaigns from other software providers, they're expensive. So why not create your own drip campaign? For example, at the start of a new year, hey GPT, write me a 12-month touch campaign for my past clients and center of influence database over the course of the next 12 months, one per month, just to establish contact. Bonus points if they're seasonal or address particular times within the calendar year. And yes, you can speak to it just like that. You don't have to have the boring prompts. And it's going to spit out 12 months of email campaigns. Now, it's your job to read them, to review them, and say, hey, January looks good. February, I don't necessarily like that, so please do something different for February. If you need to get specific to holidays due to religious beliefs or celebratory ways or whatever the case may be, you can say, hey, can you tweak the December one to mention this instead of that? And it's going to spit out a 12-month email campaign. All you need to do, boom, load that up into your CRM, KV Core, Follow Up Boss, whatever you do or whatever you use, upload that into that, and boom, you now have a 12-month campaign. Powerful stuff, right? What's next? Number 5, this is one of my favorites. Handling tough objections like a pro. we all know the importance of script and role play, but sometimes there's some objections that we haven't heard or maybe we haven't practiced and they stump us. One in particular is, I want to wait till interest rates come down before I start looking for a property, or I want to wait till after the holidays to list my home for sale. Or, you know what? Hey, the kids are going back to school, so we want to wait to list the property. All you need to do is prompt GPT and say, hey, GPT, I have a tough objection that I'm dealing with, and insert the objection. Please give me some best cases on how I can dialogue this objection with my client to ultimately find the best solution for all parties involved, right? You don't want to have it create some creepy over the top script that isn't going to make sense. Let it know that, look, this is a genuine concern of your client, and how can you show the entirety of the field? How can you show the forest for the trees? And how can you explain to your client all possible options in regard to listing their home or a purchasing home based on certain timing around their objection? Trust me, team, it is powerful. If you've never used it, your mind is going to be blown. I guarantee you. Number 6, this is a no-brainer, and this is probably what most agents are using GPT for, those that are using it. And unfortunately, I'm starting to see an overusage of this. That's not vetted properly, but AI-powered social media content and post ideas. The last part, post ideas, is awesome. The subject matter for this video was because I asked GPT, what should I train on today? What specific things would agents be needing, looking for, or searching for in their business? And it gave me ideas. And then ultimately I refined the idea, made it my own, and here we are creating, breathing life into it and making it a real training. Now that's using it to generate ideas, not doing the work for me. Does this make sense? So if you're using GPT for your social media post or for your content, that's fine. Ask it for ideas. In fact, even ask it to write you a rough draft of a post, and then you go in and you put your own style, your own flavor, your own personality, and make it your own. Don't just copy and paste. Don't plagiarize. Use it as a baseline for thinking through a strategy, and then ultimately you execute the strategy with your own mind, your own heart, and your own style. Make sense? Number 7, last but certainly not least, prepping for listing appointments in just a few minutes. And I'll say that again, prepping for listing appointments in just a few minutes. Because here's what happens, team. We get so busy. Prep time kind of goes out the window, or it cuts into our family time in the evening, or maybe we get a listing appointment where we get a come list me, right? Man, those are the best. Come list me right now. Okay, great. How do I prepare for this? Great. Hop into GPT, pop in the property address, ask it for particulars about that property, take the title report in the way of a PDF, upload that PDF into GPT and ask it to translate it for you. Who's on title, any liens, anything I should be concerned of. Mind you, this is not a replacement for a title representative, a thorough title review, or anything along these lines. This is merely for a knowledge-based summary for you to get an overview of the playing field prior to going into this listing presentation. Now, all you have to do is slap your marketing materials into the folder, hopefully the marketing materials that you created with GPT long ago when you were preparing for this day in your life, and the actual contracts, put those in, you have your summary, boom, you're out the door to your appointment, sitting in front of Mr. and Mrs. Jones and having your conversation about listing their property. It's really that simple, team. It is a powerful, powerful tool. I encourage you to use it. Again, I'm going to put a card to the video on how to use GPT at the end of this video. You'll definitely want to engage with it, and at least just start testing it out. And if you have any questions about it, it's free. You can pay for an upgraded version, but you can, everything I've talked about here today, you can try on the free version. And at the end of the day, team, if I can implore you, encourage you, whatever the term is, if I can just give you a pat on the back and say, go do it in regard to trying something new, don't be afraid of technology. Don't be afraid of ChatGPT. Don't be afraid of artificial intelligence. You are brilliant. You are smart. You're letting fear get in the way. Knock fear out of the side. Go in, learn something new. If you have questions, send me a message. I'm certainly happy to answer your questions in regard to this. And if you need coaching or anything along those lines, those links are also available in the description. But at the end of the day, I just want you to get after it. I want you to win, and I want you to generate more business, save time, and just be a powerful advocate and be out there for the real estate world and just be an amazing agent. All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye, everybody.